Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk everything about RAW file format. This video is not a comparison between a JPEG and RAW file format because I have already done a video on this earlier, which you can also check out here. However, in today's video, I'm going to focus on the complete workflow on how to handle RAW files right from the camera settings to the final image. By the way, if you're new to this channel, I'm Anshu, a photographer for 15 years. Please do consider subscribing to my channel to see more content like this. So let's get started. RAW photography is the foundation of professional photography. If you're shooting in JPEG, then I can assure you you're missing out on something. All cameras these days have a capability to support RAW file format. So what is a RAW file? A RAW file is an uncompressed, unprocessed image captured by your camera's sensor. Unlike JPEG, which are compressed and automatically processed in camera, RAW file retains all the image data, giving you much more greater flexibility in post-processing. Think of it as a digital negative. So let me show you and let's understand a little bit how a RAW file is captured in the camera. Once your subject is captured by the camera sensor, it gets digitally processed in a RAW file first. Actually, a JPEG file is then processed later in the camera based on the RAW file, which retain all the data of the image. So in fact, with the JPEG, I'm doing an additional level in camera. Instead, we can utilize the original file and use it to our advantage to process a richer JPEG based on our liking. There are a lot of advantages of shooting in RAW file. Shooting in RAW file actually helps you retain a lot of shadows and highlights in the photo. But remember, it is always easier to recover more detail from the shadows in your scene, so try to slightly underexpose your image, which can be recovered better in your post-processing rather than the highlights and the overblown areas. You can also adjust the white balance without any quality loss. Noise will be captured as it is, so try to get an accurate noise in your photo itself. So the reason why I wanted to highlight all these aspects is that there are few things which is easier to recover in the post-processing, but there are things which will be more difficult to recover in your post-processing. So for example, you don't have to bother about the white balance. The RAW file completely ignores the white balance reading of your scene and you can adjust it any way you like in post-processing. But for the noise part of it, it is really difficult to denoise your image later in post-processing. So try to capture the accurate noise in your photo itself. But there is also a trade-off. RAW files are usually bigger in size and also need a lot of post-processing to bring the true potential of a RAW file. One of the major challenges with RAW file is also its storage. These files can take a lot of space, so investing in good memory cards could be quite crucial when you're shooting in RAW file format. I'm also going to discuss the management of these files little later in the video. Actually, I still feel that RAW files still uses significantly less storage when compared to video file these days. So in my opinion, if you are already shooting videos, then you may not have to worry a lot about storing RAW file format because they will be significantly less than your video files. Different brands will have their own camera format. So Nikon's RAW file is, for example, .nef, or Sony's RAW file is .arw, or Canon's RAW file is .cr2. Within various RAW formats, cameras nowadays also offer different compression technology, mainly lossless compression and compressed RAW file. Again, compressed RAW files may be reversible. This technology saves some disk. It is up to you which version of the RAW file you really want to use in your camera. Switching to RAW file is really easy. Go to your camera settings, find the image format menu and select RAW. To process raw files, you will need a dedicated software to do so. But the good news is most of the camera brands offer free software which you can easily download and use it to convert your raw files. For example, I use Capture NX for Nikon, which helps me process the NEF file formats. You may have to enter the camera serial number probably to download these software, but you can use it freely. And in my opinion, I have been using NX Studio for quite some time, and I'm able to do 90% of my processing with just this one software. Earlier, back in the days when I started photography and I started shooting in RAW, most of the operating systems like Windows didn't have a preview option for these RAW files. But the good news is nowadays, most of the latest edition of OS will let you preview your RAW files directly in your window. So what I'm arriving at is, though RAW file offers a lot of flexibility, it is not a universal format which can be viewed across different platforms. To view these files on different platforms, you will still have to convert them back to a universally accepted format like JPEG. By the way, I'm not sure if I have told you already, but I'm a huge fan of Irfan View, which I have been using for 20 odd years. And I use this for most of the previews of all kind of images. It also has the ability to preview RAW files, and the best part is it loads very fast, even faster than most of the Windows application. Okay, so here's the fun part. I'm going to very quickly show you some very basic editing which you can do on a RAW file. I will try not to be boring and will wrap up very quickly. So if you want to skip ahead, then feel free to do so. I'm going to give you an example of a photo which I clicked for my last video, and as you can see, this image is highly overexposed. And let's just see some of the basic specification. This was shot at ISO 1000 and the color temperature was 50-60. I don't actually bother about +3 EV because I always shoot in manual mode. And also you can check out my video from earlier, which I have done an extensive video on manual mode. So generally my workflow is like this. I first go and tackle the exposure in the image. So in this image, you can see it is highly overexposed. So let's try to reduce the exposure a bit. And this seems to be kind of all right. I have reduced the exposure to -2, and you can see the image has not degraded at all. And this also shows if I was doing this edit in a JPEG version, then the image would have been kind of destroyed by now. So after doing some basic exposure fix, I go and generally adjust some of the highlights and the shadows. So this image, you can see there are some shadow areas plus also some overexposed area, but not much. But let's anyway try to change some of the highlight and shadow areas. As you can see, I'm able to recover a lot of shadows from the photo. I think this should be fine. And after I have done a basic edit on the exposure values of these images, then I will try to go ahead and fix the white balance. So let me just show you some of the extreme values of the white balance. As I mentioned earlier, the white balance is not at all impacted in the RAW file. So maybe these are very extreme values. Probably we'll just keep it in somewhere in the middle. And this should be fine. So I wanted to give you another example where the ISO was very high, which actually resulted in a lot of noise in the photo. So as you can see in this image, the ISO was at 10,000, and maybe let me just try to zoom in at some of the aspect. You can see, I can see a lot of noise in the image, but using some of the basic processing in the image itself, if I use a noise reduction feature in Studio, then it actually reduces a lot of noise in the image itself. And now you can see the difference between the noise levels reduction from before and after. A little bit about how to manage and handle raw files. Now, raw files, because they consume a lot of storage, it is really important to be a little structured when you're using raw file management. So I used a very structured folder system to store and back up all my images. And I also recommend you can organize your files probably by event or even date and month. And I tend to use an external hard drive. So currently I'm using a 4 terabyte of hard drive because I also have lots of video files which I need to back up. One of the best tips which I can give about the file management for raw file is try to shoot both in RAW and JPEG file format. Most of the cameras will let you shoot in the combination of JPEG and RAW. The advantage of that is when I start uploading my files, I always have a JPEG copy which I will first go ahead and store it online in some photo sharing sites. I use a Flickr platform, which is something which I used as a paid version, and all my JPEG file backups are always on Flickr. After you have edited your files and you have exported your files, there are different file formats which will be helpful for storing your images. So the most widely used format is definitely JPEG, which is actually more than sufficient if you want to share your photos online. If you want to go ahead and print your photos, then you can store your files in a PNG or a TIFF format, which will give you a high resolution when compared to JPEG files. Raw file photography may seem a little overwhelming in the beginning, but once you start shooting in raw file format, you will understand and realize the potential it holds. I have tried to keep this guide as simple as possible, so it encourages you to actually go and try out shoot in raw file format if you're not already doing so. If this guide has helped, then please do drop me a comment below. Do you really shoot in raw file format? I will love to hear from you. And please do consider subscribing to my channel. I'm aiming at 1,000 subscribers very soon. I put in a lot of effort in making these videos, and really you subscribing will encourage me a lot and continue making videos like this. And happy clicking. I will see you soon in another video. Till then, bye.